I want to attach this torus to this box, and both objects are editable poly at this point, so we can't go back and change the segments, at least under the properties, the parameters for the objects. But we need to seam this torus into this box. So we've got some work here to do on both objects before that can happen. If I go to Alt-X mode on my box, you'll see the torus is intersecting it. That's the first thing I'm going to take care of. So I'm going to go to my torus and go to polygon mode, and I'm going to grab all of these polygons here and just delete them. And you'll see that gets rid of them, and it's going to leave these open edges here in the torus, which is what we want. Okay, next thing we're going to do, once I get my box rotated around here, there we go, is turn off the grid, because I don't want that grid showing right now. I'm going to go out of Alt-X mode here with both objects, and I need some segments built into this box where this torus is going to connect up. So I'm going to grab these, oops, wrong object, grab the box, go to edges, grab these edges here, right across this section. Zoom in a little bit so you can see what's going on. So we're right across this section here. And I'm going to go to connect, and what I want to do is make enough connections to make a little opening here or close to here where this piece is going to come in. I'm going to say OK to that. I could slide these actually. Why don't we use this feature since it's new in Max 8. I'm going to slide them over so that we're kind of zoomed in on this little piece right here. And I'm going to say OK. And now I'm going to make some new connections going across this way. So straight across here. And we're going to make some new connections. And we'll use slide again. And this time we're going to use pinch just to move them out a little bit. That should work. So now we've got this square here that we can use to kind of bore through here. Now over on this side, I don't want as many connections. What I'm going to do is just select across here, go to connect. I'm just going to make 2 connections and say OK. And all I'm going to do with these 2 connections, I'm going to select this connection here and just move it over. We can call these segments, I guess. I'm going to do the same thing. If you wanted to do it quicker, you could hit this and loop, which will go all the way around. And we'll go over and just place it there. Now we've got a lot of polygons we don't need here, but they're easy enough to take care of. And we're going to go to polygons. We'll delete these polygons where the tube is going to intersect. And we're going to attach our tube at this point, or our torus. So now we've got one large object that just needs some connecting to it. Okay, next thing we're going to do, I'm going to zoom in here. And we're going to create the polygons for one side, but not for the other. I'm going to go to Alt-X mode so I can see through it. We're going to copy these polygons we make here over here. So we've done this before. It's polygon create. That creates these little blue dots that you see here. I'm going to make polygons. We don't want to make inverted polygons, which means, let me get this guy, which means just what I was about to do there. Which means if we go across here and click here, let me show you what I mean. If I go across here, click here, and down, see how this polygon has kind of a dent in it here? That's not usually going to render correctly. What we would rather do is settle on tries at this point and come down and make all the polygons have edges that are facing outwards. We don't want any, what would we call that? Convex edges, I guess. Never really thought about what it's called. There we go. We're going to have to probably move this around a little bit and get a better angle. Go back to create. I like to create my own polygons when I'm doing this so that I can decide on the polygon structure. Move over here, get a little better angle. These polygons are pretty even all the way around. Okay, now with those polygons still selected, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of these polygons by pulling them out. So right now I have a copy of these. I'm going to clone it to Element so that it's still part of my, my box here. Move them up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is move these around my object. We're just going to rotate them into place here. I'm looking down here at the bottom and get pretty close to 90 degrees. Doesn't have to be dead on. And I'm going to slide these over here into place with my, actually easier to do it in 4 views. Let's do that. There we go. We can see it a little bit better here. I'm just going to slide this into place. Now I have a slightly different shaped piece here that I'm trying to fit it into. In other words, the segments on this box, this piece here, don't line up exactly. If I zoom in, you'll see it's not lining up exactly. So what I'm going to do is just get it close. The closer you get, the better. On 3 sides. And you can see that it actually lines up right with the tube. That's the part that we care about. And then I'm going to go to my vertex mode here. I'm going to grab the 2 vertexes of that piece that we just made and just kind of smash them down in. Now right now we've got a little plug piece that we've made here that fits pretty well, but it's all separate. It hasn't been seamed up. So I'm going to grab those vertices that I just made right through here. There are these vertices right here. I believe, double checking this real quick. Yeah, those vertices right there. And we're going to go to weld, and then we're just going to bump the weld threshold up until they're all welded together. And you can see before we had 196, now we have 184 vertices, which means we got rid of a bunch of vertices right through there. And now those are all seamed up as well, and we copied what we did over here to this section over here. And now we've made this piece. Zoom out, go to all one section. If our smoothing groups were screwed up during that whole thing, what I'm going to do is grab, actually go back to my 4 views here. I'm going to grab through, let's see what's the easiest way to get it. I'm going to grab right through my box object, deselect everything in the tube, so that I have all of these polygons selected. I missed a few. Deselect the tube. So all of these are selected, and we can reset our smoothing groups by going down here to the bottom. I'm going to unclick all of these, and I'm just going to make sure that my smoothing groups are off, or if I want to, I could select a side and make each smoothing group a different side for this. So we can come through here, deselect, say, these sections here, and we'll make this smoothing group instead of, that's smoothing group 1 already. I got a hold of the wrong side. We'll deselect all of these. So now we just have this band. We'll make this smoothing group 2. And now if we render this, all of that new section that we created will be a separate smoothing group, except you can see that That didn't take on that side there. Let's fix that. There we go. That's going to be all flat now. There we go. So easy enough to seam these objects together as you're making them. I'll apply symmetry to this just to show you again, you've seen this before, that you can make more complex objects with these. And if we drop the mirror down, we can control where that symmetry is. I can put it right on that seam. And now we have an even more complex object, and again, it's all seamed together so that we've got one hollow piece. No interior pieces there, and that's what we like to see. Okay, so I'll go ahead and save this one, but you can take a look at these. Try to make an object something like what I have, or seam up the object that I have just for practice on this, because